Oh na 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 na, oh na 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 na, oh na 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 na, oh na 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 na, oh na 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 na, oh na 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 na. You've got to soar on your own, soar on your own, soar on your own. No, you've got to seek all the sky, yeah, seek all the sky, oh, seek all the sky. Well then you've got to see for yourself now, see for yourself now, wow, wow, wow. See for yourself if you want to learn how to. I said learn. Wings don't get strong, no, 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 until they're tested. And you still don't know, you don't know what your best is. Bye, bye, bye. You can't touch your dreams now if you don't take flight. Can you hear me now? Sometimes in this la 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 life you've got to fight, 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 fight for what's right.
Dauntless Defenders of Good Governance. Join host Fearless Warrior and the Dauntless crew every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Tune in each week for enlightening discussions, special guest interviews, on the scene coverage of news, political events, and all topics related to good governance. Watch the show live on our Bounce Up Central platform and social media channels, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Keep the conversation going, even after the show. Chat in real time on our 24-hour live chat on Bounce Up Central. For more news, informative content, entertainment, special events, discussion forums, Bounce Up Radio, TGIF watch parties, and to even bus a mark anonymously, visit our Bounce Up Central Community Hub, the platform that's Weeting, created for we, by we.
You must prepare for war. You must be ready for battle. It's true. Lego the beast. We the champions. We the champions. We the champions. Just call me Mr. Mashup. Everything I get mash up. When I touch the stage, I make the people put their hands up. Yeah, you know we jam up. That is how we raise up. Like Ratigan say, everybody jump fuck off. Some people don't rate me, but we don't give up. If you have a hater, let me see your hands them up. And let them fools be talking. My dogs do more than barking. We about that action, we ain't really come to talk. Tell them hush them out. If they really don't know what they're talking about. Overconfident about they run the road. But I promise you one thing. Anytime you step foot with our we inside this ring, we gon' be the last one standing. From the time we strike up the band, watch the people them start to jam, we'll be the last one standing. Watch the hand and foot start to swing, let we mash up everything. Now hey, 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 hey.
Dauntless Defenders of Good Governance. Join host Fearless Warrior and the Dauntless crew every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Tune in this week as we continue our coverage of the PNM internals and interview candidates vying for a seat in the elections. Join us as candidates enter the Dauntless GROF, the Gayelle Ring of Fire, and face the Bounce Up audience crew. Watch as they run the Dauntless Gauntlet to be judged. Will they get Bois, Busshead, or get a Big-up Yuh Whole self? Tonight's warriors are special guests, Ms. Alicia Legere, candidate for Welfare Officer, and Mr. Clayton Blackman, candidate for Education Officer. Join us at 8 p.m. and come armed with the burning questions you want the candidates to answer. Watch the show live on our Bounce Up Central platform and social media channels, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Keep the conversation going before, during, and even after the show. Chat in real time on our 24-hour live chat on Bounce Up Central at bounceup.com.
Where's that? Yes, people, good evening, and welcome to Dauntless. Where's that? Why is that? Why is that still playing? Okay, right. So good evening, people, and welcome to Dauntless Defenders of Good Governance. Oh yeah. Let me just say it was a real tough day yesterday. Just now. Hold on. Yeah. See that kind of delay. But let me tell you, it was a really difficult day yesterday. After sorting out with the technical crew, with the phone lines and everything, we got the phone lines back up and running. We got all the necessary systems going, only to realize that somebody had stolen my laptop. Yes, people, Fearless Warrior's laptop has gone missing. And it is not really a nice thing, but yeah, all right. Yes. So my laptop has gone missing, and I am in dire need to get back my personal laptop, and I'm appealing to those criminals to please I am appealing to those criminals to please bring back my laptop. It is expensive, and but old thing they bring new thing they say, and one or two people have told me that you need to ask and see who will be willing to donate or give you a laptop back, and well, my birthday is next week. Next week is the 18th. Next week is the 18th. And yeah, so my birthday is on the 18th. There's a holiday after that, a holiday before that. It's about 2 or 3 holidays basically in that. So it's going to be a very long weekend next week. And I just tell all my bosses, do not look out for me to come out on my holiday, which is my birthday. And then the day after there is a holiday. And then the day after the holiday is another holiday. So I might have to do like Kamala. Come to work 1 day a week and stay home all the rest. But it's a lot of rain that is taking place, and People be very, 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 very safe on the nation's road. What's your account? I will send my bank account and all these necessary things, or you can get in contact with the director. But you see, I don't want to play greedy and ask for a $10,000 laptop. But no, I just pull on your leg. I just pull on your leg. But really and truly, I need to get back my laptop. It is very, 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 very important that I do get back my laptop to really do my work, what I really need to do. And I'm appealing to the criminals to please bring back my laptop. I just do. I just get, I just can't handle a bandit. You see, bandits, I can't handle bandits. Last time they come in my house, I tell them straight up, take everything they want, leave the phone, they leave everything, including my phone, and they went. You understand? Now, or they take my laptop. Oh my goodness. So after I fix my phone problem, or they take my laptop. You see some, if they hit them bandits, some clout in the head. But as I always say, I don't have no mercy on no bandit. If they're dead, they're dead. You understand? Because we're not nice. Because we're distressing people. And so when they're distressing people, well, I can't say PNM train. I do not bother. But I know a criminal take my laptop, and I will like back my laptop, please. Or they take nothing else, They didn't take the cord to plug in the laptop, Or they take the laptop and go with it. And you know what would be the hurtful thing? They're going to sell the laptop for next to nothing, That is be the hurtful thing, boy. They're going to sell your property for next to nothing. And they want to can't understand with these little petty criminals. So here it is yesterday. I done prep my show. I done ready to go yesterday with my fine point and different thing. Let me just take off some of that thing there. Yeah. And these little hungry little buggers and them go take my thing and go with my thing. Yeah, boy, look now. Well, let me tell you something. Sometimes when you take things from people, it is hot here. Tobago was cancelled, so it did not know 100 March in Tobago. It was cancelled due to the inclement weather, and they put out a notice early that there will be no and even the sailing on the boat was aborted at 3 p.m. So there was no sailing on the boat yesterday afternoon. So even if you wanted to go to Tobago and to get back to Trinidad, would have been a problem. So there was no 100 March, so I didn't bother to go to Tobago yesterday. You understand? I didn't bother to go to Tobago, and I know that they will put it back on someday. So I do have my ticket. And it's just to change the date and jump on the boat and head over to Tobago. So people, tonight is what we call the Ring of Fire. Yes, but what happened is that when it was election night, my next phone went down in the water and it was sinking slowly. Ask anybody, I keep telling them that my phone went down in water in the daytime. And I said, but what kind of jumpy device is this? Only to realize that when we get the 26 Oh my goodness. I said, no, 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 no. But I really would like to get back I really want them to bring back my laptop so that I could do my work properly and get my things back on track. But if you want to contribute and buy me back my laptop, that would be so good. But I have all the rest of the things here. But these little mysteries, but oh God. So tonight is Ring of Fire. Let me play the promo for
Dauntless
Ring of Fire.
Defenders of Good Governance. Join host Fearless Warrior and the Dauntless crew every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Tune in this week as we continue our coverage of the PNM internals and interview candidates vying for a seat in the elections. Join us as candidates enter the Dauntless GROF, the Gayelle Ring of Fire, and face the Bounce Up audience crew. Watch as they run the Dauntless Gauntlet to be judged. Will they get Bois, Busshead, or get a Big-up Yuh Whole self? Tonight's warriors are special guests. Ms. Alicia Legere, candidate for Welfare Officer, and Mr. Clayton Blackman, candidate for Education Officer. Join us at 8 p.m. and come armed with the burning questions you want the candidates to answer. Watch the show live on our Bounce Up Central platform and social media channels, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Keep the conversation going before, during, and even after the show. Chat in real time on our 24-hour live chat on Bounce Up Central at bounceup.com.
Yes, 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 yes. And welcome back. And let's start our show this afternoon. Let's start our show this evening. And all right. Yes, Miss Cheryl Ann James, Miss Donna Gibson, Super C 29, and many others who are on the live. Let's start this live here this afternoon. The Ring of Fire is ready. Bringing to the stage is a man who has been in the arena for many years, and he is here to deliver the information to you tonight. Bring him to the stage. Director, could you put him up on the stage? All right, so he's here. So bring him to the stage is Mr. Clayton Blackman. Mr. Blackman?
A pleasant
All
night,
right.
Devon, and your listeners and viewers.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we are seeing you live, we are hearing you live, and we are live. So, oh God, hey, you know, yeah, Mr. Blackman, when I tell you that the stress man, or the stress man, they take my laptop and they have me like a fish out of water, trying to get back with it.
Try not to take it on. Try not to take it on.
Oh God, it's like the thief your car and they tell you how to walk now. But let's start this thing. So, Mr. Blackman, tell us a little bit about yourself and what position you are vying for in this election.
I'll speak to the latter first. I'm vying for the position of education officer. And a little bit about myself. I'm a retired educator. I have worked with the Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies. Also, I'm a graduate of that institution, senior lecturer at COSTAT, and also a lecturer at the University of the West Indies Open Campus. I have been with the Open Campus over 20 years. I've lectured with COSTAT for as much as 16 years. And I also did some pro bono work with the Butler Institute that is on Duke Street, Port of Spain. So I've been in the field of education for almost 30 years. I consider myself an educator. Whilst at Cipriani too, I was the manager student services, and I've done a lot of pro bono work with respect to other institutions and also civil society groups. I am a former police officer and originally from the Southland, the village of Princestown. I attended Napima College, which is the best college in Trinidad and Tobago, best secondary school in Trinidad and Tobago. Um, I have quite a lot of experience working both in the private and public sector. I'm presently the vice chairman of the Tunapuna Piako Regional Corporation. I have served on state boards from the year 2007. I was a director with the Central Tenders Board. I served 5 years with the Regulated Industries Commission. And whilst at the Regulated Industries Commission, I was chairman of an organization called OCUR, Organization of the Caribbean, as far as regulation is concerned, regulation to several like telecommunication. Also in Trinidad, we are only regulating both WASA and TNTEC, but there are other Caribbean islands that regulate transportation and other things too. So I served as the president of that international organization, attended many major meetings, both regionally and internationally. So Devon, I can take some questions, and basically I would have told you a little bit of myself and what I am doing and what things I would have done. But I am also a director with the St. Barbara's Primary School. That is the Baptist School in Maloney. I'm one of the directors. I'm one of the board members there. So education is really my thing.
Yes,
As far as the PNM is concerned, I have been a member for almost 30 years. I have also been on the education committee for 2 consecutive terms under Mr. Overon Padmo and under Mrs. Lee Singh. I played a very important role in those 2 terms that I served, and I have always been preparing for this job that I am ready to take on the 23rd of this month after we get the results of the elections. There are other things about me. I support civil society groups. I was the public relation officer for CPOS on Piccadilly Street. I also served as the president of the National Basketball Federation and also on the Caribbean Basketball Confederation. I'm presently the General Secretary of the National Basketball Federation of Trinidad and Tobago. I keep myself very busy and occupied. I was the first male to be president of the National Association of Administrative Professionals in Trinidad and Tobago. I also serve with Hazel Brown
Okay.
on the network of NGOs for the empowerment of women. I have been out there, I have served my time, and I am willing. I think that I have the capacity, the knowledge, the experience to take on the position of when it comes to governance in the Education Committee of the People's National Movement.
Well, I will hear Mr. Blackburn. You have all this experience, yeah, and you have been in the trenches because I've seen you in the trenches. You were also you were the president at one time of the credit union in Laventille,
Success,
in which I was part and founder.
The only credit union in Laventille, which is Success Ugama, and I continue doing quite a lot in East Port of Spain. I did not mention my last thing. The board that I serve on was MIC, Institute of Technology. I had to resign after the elections, and I did quite a lot whilst being at MIC. So I have been, according to what the people say, been there and done that, and I think that I can add value to the executive of the People's National Movement.
All right, so let's get into the meat of the crux now of this. Right. So people are lining up their questions. Oh shucks. Let me just take that off the stage there just now. I'll tell you have. Director, could you take that off the stage now, please? Right. So tell me, Mr. Blackman, and the last time that you would have gone up to serve on the education committee, what were some of the challenges in terms of being able to get in to work with the education committee of the People's National Movement?
Thank you very much. Devon, the main problem was people were saying that they are on Dr. Rowley's slate. And Dr. Rowley said for a while he did not have a slate, but at the end of it all, there was a slate presented to the voting public. And I think I did pretty well. I garnished about 1,700 plus voters. A lot of persons voted for me. But where Mrs. Lee Singh got the edge is by being on the slate. And I know her very well. We are friends as I speak here today. And she said to me, Clayton, if you win, then I would be your second in command. And if I win, she would be my second in command. And we agreed to that. And after the election, I was made secretary of the election committee. And I guess I am still secretary until a new head is placed.
So, Mr. Blackman, do you believe that the People's National Movement former education officer, or has the party education officer in the past has been really doing the function that they were elected for?
I think Mrs. Leasing is more a public relations officer. She is an eloquent speaker, a wonderful person on a platform, and I do not think that, you see, very often we speak about putting square pegs in round hole. And I think that the best person to head the education committee would be an educator, right? Although certain other people might think differently, but with all the experiences that I carry from different educational institutions, and more so, one of the main objectives would be to revitalize the Eric Williams Party School. You need an educator. You need somebody who knows about lesson planning. You need somebody who knows about curriculum, and not setting up curriculum and having the school in full operations. There hasn't been anybody to fully operationalize that task. I think I am fit and proper person to take on that task, Devon. I have the know and the will to do it. And I'm speaking about the will to do it without much resources. I need just the human resources of the individual within the party, within the education committee, and the members, the other committees, because I intend to have collaboration and cooperation with the other committee heads and committees. For example, the field officers committee, the welfare officer committee, the election officer committee, and we haven't been seeing much of that in the past. You would be more effective, the PNM would be more effective if these different committees collaborate and work jointly on various projects and different programs.
Let me ask you this question. The PNM's constitution, the constitution of the PNM is basically on the website, but many of the people in the party don't know the constitution of the People's National Movement. How would you, as an education officer, promote and make people aware of their rights or the constitution of the People's National Movement?
What can be done, Devon, is something that, and you see, I have right here before me, I don't know if you can see it, the Constitution and also the handbook. This is like a member's Bible. Each and every officer in party groups and constituencies need to have a copy of that. I will go even further to say that each and every member of the party should have a copy of the Constitution. And there are many reasons for that. You see, when an individual has a copy of the Constitution, they are aware of their rights. And very too often, people run their mouth saying this, saying that, and they do not have a clue as to what the Constitution really says about any particular issue. So, back to your question, what I will do is that these books are basically out of print right now. I will ensure that we print probably about 50,000 to start with, and they are sold. The Constitution is sold for $50, and that will bring in some level of revenue for the education committee that can go towards the finishing of the building at Balize House.
Okay. And let me just join some of the questions here that people were starting to ask in between. And one of the questions was, what would you do differently than how the education officer's role is being executed now?
First of all, the way it is set up, most people in the constituencies do not have an opportunity to attend meetings, especially those in rural Trinidad and Tobago. What needs to happen, and what I am proposing, that my monthly meetings, statutory meetings, will be taken to a different constituency every month. So if I am to go down to, let's say, San Fernando, I will encourage the neighboring constituencies like Labre, Point Fortin, Princestown, or Pooch, all those San Fernando East, San Fernando West, to attend the meeting. They do not have to leave where they are to come all the way up to Port of Spain. When I'm going central, it's the same thing. So individuals will have an opportunity that is not too strenuous on them to attend the meetings, because sometimes meetings are called and you have 5 and 6 persons present. Right? You know, so that is what I will do different. In addition to that, I will also have two career fairs during the year that members can attend, especially young persons who are now leaving secondary school and embarking on their choice of career.
Nice. Well, somebody asked here, what's your focus as an education officer? What would be your focus as an education officer?
My mantra is education. My mantra is education for all. And I am prepared through my committee to share the word of the People's National Movement from, we say, nursery to tertiary. As long as the individual can read and write, up till the most elderly person will have an opportunity to participate in what we call the party school.
Okay. Right? So you're bringing back the party school.
That is correct. The Eric William Party School. And as I mentioned before, there will be different certificates for different age groups. Something like civics, something like political science, Well, for the younger one would be civics. For the older one, it would be political science. Devon, do you believe that at tertiary institution, students tell you that they do not read the papers? Adults, they don't
Yeah.
read the papers and they don't listen to news because they don't like to hear all the boring things all the time. Some persons don't even know who their president is. I'm speaking about adults now. Don't you understand? Don't know who the leader of the opposition is. So I will do everything within my powers to educate all. And education, as we say, is not just formal education. It's not just formal education. There's also informal education. Education is about teaching and learning. And there would be different media or different channels that I would utilize to reach everybody, to share that information about how great the People's National Movement is, the institution of the People's National Movement. And there are some persons, sometimes what would be important to is to assist with the revamping of party groups. You know that party groups existed since around 1956 when the PNM party was formed. Technology, AI, you have all the Android phones and everything, a lot of technology would have taken place. And these party groups remain the same way. The objectives of the party groups remain the same. They need to be educated, Devon. Party groups need to treat their party groups as businesses. They need, I know this is not the first time you're hearing this, party groups need to have a parallel organization as an NGO that they could raise funds and have bank accounts.
Yes.
Groups need to be able to collaborate and cooperate with other party groups. A party group in Princeton could meet a party group in Tobago. You go on a little outing. Some people in Moruga don't even know where Cedrus is. No, I'm serious. You hear them talk about passing the lighthouse and passing the Caribbean Bridge. It is not a joke. Persons do not know their country, and I will do everything within my powers to ensure that these party groups are able to collaborate with each other and do different things. Had that been done, the PNM party would have known what is going on in Point 14 and Labre before the election.
Do you think because you talk about had that been done, they would have known what going on in Point 14 and Labre. But
so
do you think that
the right action could have been taken, and what happened in Point 14 would not have happened?
But one of the persons here asking, what are the areas you think that is, well, we spoke about that part of it. How would you incorporate technology as part of the education strategy for the membership? And I think you would have spoken part of in terms of using the technology in that part. But this question here is, if you become the education officer, will you be educating Miss Penny and the One Love crew? Somebody asking.
Listen, my mantra is education for all. I have quite a lot of respect for the political leader and the leader of the opposition, my political leader. My political leader, I don't know if you've seen this here.
Yes.
My political leader, I fully endorses and supports Miss Penny Beckers. So the example that is being brought about, I do not think that anyone too old to learn.
Yes.
I heard a presentation from His Worship, the Mayor of Port of Spain, explaining the original colors of the People's National Movement, and it's something.
Yes,
It is something that a lot of those who were present in the room had no knowledge of it. So when I speak education for all, I am sure that my honorable political leader and leader of the opposition, she doesn't know it all. No one knows it all. No one knows it all. And it might be something very simple. She might say, hey, Clayton, I really didn't know that, it's nice that I can be informed. She's also responsible for a constituency that goes all the way up to Blanchie Shares. And I am sure she would be pleased when I take a caravan to Blanchie Shares to spend a day with the people in Blanchie Shares to do some level of education. The most important thing that I realize that most people don't know is what is called roles and functions of officers.
Yes.
Even today, persons who are elected in certain areas are not aware of their roles and functions. People are placed on state boards and they are not aware of their roles and functions. So roles and functions of officers, and thank our matriarch, Joniel Williams, for this. It's called a handbook for officers of the constituency.
But I think they still need to learn that. But let me ask you this next question here. Somebody is saying here, they wanted to explain in detail the responsibility of the education officer, as Ms. Lee saying is second in command, and well, you specify just now.
How will Ms. Leasing become second in command?
Well, these were trying to.
Ms. Leasing will not come second in command
because she is not contesting the.
She is not contesting the seat of education officer.
Right.
She's the incumbent, and all seats have been declared vacant. Will be declared vacant on the day of election.
But let me ask you this question.
Can I finish? Let me just finish, because there is a structure. There's a structure in the Constitution that what needs to happen is that persons will not be holding those same offices as I am the secretary of the Education Committee presently. Right?
Right.
The person who wins this will have to go to the Constitution and restructure the Education Committee. And that is like what most of the other officers going in will do. There is a place for a second in command, and then there are ordinary members, there's a secretary, but those positions cannot be kept.
But let me ask you that, because because you're talking a particular, you spoke about the vacancy of these positions. can the General Council make a pronouncement and say that all seats will become vacant, even though you as the incumbent, the person who is still holding the position, didn't resign? Could the General Council, could they make that decision and say that all seats will be vacant, even though you, the person, the office holder, who have 1 more year, didn't resign officially?
The General Council, according to the Constitution, has the ultimate decision to make as far as the party governance is concerned.
So they have the power.
They cannot blatantly go against the Constitution, but in keeping with the Constitution, decisions to be made to help the proper running of the party, the governance of the party, management of the party, the General Council has that responsibility.
So they can have they can say, well, okay, all seats vacant when office holders still holding positions for 1 year, let me say 1 year again in the party. They have that power. And
General
how
Council
does
has the ultimate power? But what you're gonna find though, it's gonna be a controversy, because let's say, for example, let's take the election committee. And the election committee has a structure, and you have the only seat that is being challenged is the head of the elections committee, right?
Right. Yes.
Let's say somebody new goes in there. Is it right for that individual to just continue with the members that he met there without making any changes?
Well, it will be up to them if they would like to make changes or keep the current education committee.
Right. They will have to go to the Constitution, and that is where you can meet some problems there. Let's take the Women's League, for example.
Yes.
The Women's League, the lady vice chair or the chairman of the Women's League is no longer participating. So you're gonna have a new lady vice chair. You're gonna have a new chairman.
Yes.
However, there has been no election for the rest of the Women's League. There has been no election for the rest of the Women's League. I don't think that the General Council had made any pronouncement on that. So everybody else there now, it might sound like I'm contradicting myself, but it can have some controversy. There's one person that is going to be removed, which is the chairman of the Women's League, and had the deceased Lisa Morris Julian, who was second to her. Whoever comes in will have to meet the entire org chart of the Women's League and continue running with them, because there has been no election for them and they will remain in power. Because the person coming in really and truly no authority to make any changes to that, because those persons like the secretary of the Women's League and the PRO of the Women's League, they all have been duly elected.
Okay, right.
So the only election that is taking place would be for the chairman of the Women's League. And they'll have to do,
but let me ask you,
a by-election, Lisa, and everybody else in line would remain in their position.
but let me ask you this question. In terms of the one man, one vote. Now, if you have the one man, one vote in play, now in the Constitution, and you have the General Council that is making certain decisions, isn't it not now the general membership, because of the one man democratic process of one man, one vote, wouldn't it not be the general membership will now have the powers, the great powers, to say whether people should or should not hold certain offices on the day of the elections?
The general membership?
Yes.
The general membership of the party can supersede the general council. Whatever decision is made by the general council, that is what will go. You're gonna have a new executive coming into play, right? So you're gonna have a new Central X. Central X make decision, and then it must be ratified by General Council. So General Council is the one who has the ultimate say.
And then they will bring this to the general membership.
The general membership has to take it. Nothing is coming to the only thing that is coming to the general membership right now would be the 16 positions of the executive that would be vacant. From the leader of the party comes straight down. That is the only say that the general membership has.
So they only have the power to basically vote.
To vote, that is it. No. Well, basically according to the Constitution, but there are other things that people could do, but not legally.
So,
No, ask a question.
No, because why I'm asking that is because if it is that you have and somebody's asking, and I know when I ask the question, Mr. Obi, then what is the point of a convention if it is that the General Council has the power, this great power, to make decision, but you only have the power to vote in who you want as on these 15 or 16 spots or position that people vying for in the executive?
Again, the General Council has the ultimate say. And when they said that the only election that we did not even have party group election, something that normally leads up to your annual convention. The annual convention is to accept the new executive that is coming into play. Those who are being elected, those are who are going to be elected on the 22nd of June.
But Mr. Faisal Wari in his press conference at Balize House would have said that all these things had already been done. If I'm not mistaken. So
listen,
I am now confused more than ever before now.
All those things have not already been done. General Council only says that they are not going to have party group election. The only elections you're going to be having would be those that form the executive. And that was the motion that was filed and passed by the General Council. Because normally what will happen is that you will have party group election, then the constituencies will have the AGM and their convention they would normally have, and then everything leads up after that to the annual convention.
So do you believe that this now has to be amended because the general membership may feel as though all we have is just to go and dip your finger to vote for the positions, but really and truly you don't have the overriding. All right, let me say like the general council make a decision. They don't have to come to the general membership and ratify it or put it before them, because at the end of the day, they ultimately make the decision for the general membership. That is how it is,
Yes,
basically, right?
based on the structure, individuals from constituencies are the ones that make up general council,
Right.
right? So therefore, the three representatives from Port of Spain South will
Right.
should have collaborated and consulted with their membership in Port of Spain South before coming to general council to vote on anything.
Okay. Okay.
So that is where
Okay.
that's where you have representation of the wider body.
Hmm. Okay. Oh, okay. So, well, if you want to call in, the numbers to call is 7376064, and you can call in on the WhatsApp line. So we are back up, we are running, we could hear you, you could hear us, and you can ask all the questions that you want to ask Mr. Blackman and get clarification on it. So, or if you want to continue sending your question. All right, so Miss Althea wants to know what is the role and function of the education officer. She wants to get a better understanding of that. What is the role of the education officer?
Education officer is the manager, and the roles and functions are all laid out in the Constitution. That is the person that is responsible for what you call an education committee. Each constitution, the Youth League, Women's League have an education officer.
Right.
And there are other persons from other committees that form part of the education committee. So the education committee is made up with about 56 members, a cross section of all the constituencies, the Women's League, the Youth League, and there are other persons who are members of things. The education officer is the manager. That is the person overseers. I don't want to use the word overseer, but is the person who manages the education committee together with his team of executives in the committee.
So one question is asking here, why should I give you my vote, Mr. Blackman? Why should I give you my vote?
I think you should give me your vote because I am an educator. I am a person with knowledge that can effectively manage the committee and be able to execute all the goals and objectives with a work program and a strategic plan, more competent than the competitors, the other three persons who are going up against me. I will definitely be a change maker as far as governance of the committee is concerned, and as my mantra say, education for all. Just in my idea, bringing back the party school and having a library, classes for persons, the education of people within the party and outside of the party, I think that I am capable and competent to do so better than my competitors.
Mm. And
Is there any direct
question here again. Well, yeah, one question here is, give 5 examples of some of the things the committee has done so far that were effective, and or what can be better, what can be done better, focusing on the education policies only. You want me to read it over
You
again?
mean things that the present committee has done?
Yes. What is five examples of some of the things that the committee has done so far that were effective, or what can be done better, focusing on the education policies only?
Well, the committee, under the present leadership of Ms. Lee Singh, she has strategically divided the committee into various subsections. Subsections that she thinks that can add value. So there are certain members that are responsible for certain subsections, probably like research. You might have an officer responsible for research. You'll have another officer probably responsible for the party school. You might have another officer responsible for outreach. So what Ms. Lee Singh did is that she utilized all the most of the members who are leaders in the group, and divided them into subgroups. Some of the things that the groups would have done would be things like they would have done more articles, educational articles that might have been printed in the papers. But there
Right.
has, I cannot, she did training. We had a training with the matriarch, Joniel Williams, and Mrs. Manning. So there was some level of training that took place. And I guess I cannot pinpoint. You see, what I can say though, with that structure, there needed to be some level of collaboration with the different sectors, the different sections themselves. But you had sections reporting to the education committee chairperson, and I guess she is the one who was managing the committee. What I think I will do is one thing that I
All
will
right.
not
So, hold 1 minute there. Go ahead. Good evening, caller.
Good night, Phyllis.
Good evening.
Yeah. Good night, Mr. Blackman.
Right. Go ahead.
evening,
I just called to congratulate you on the information that you bring. You seem very, very knowledgeable of what you are talking about, and you're learning a lot through what you are saying concerning what an education officer is. right? And I just want to call and thank you for the information that you bring. Hi to Altia, 29 Super C, Daniela, Kwasi, and everybody else, Annette and everybody. But what I'm saying to Mr. Blackman, you seem very knowledgeable, more than Miss Lee Singh. From what I'm hearing on this program and the information that you are giving us. So we are listening very carefully again, and we thank you. And we will take seriously about giving you our vote. Okay, because that's what you come to ask for, and with the information that you give, we will be thinking very hard. Okay, Mr. Blackman, you have a nice night.
Thank you, and I want to thank you
thanks a lot,
very much, Devon, the caller, and as I said, the education officer position needs to have an educator. I'm not saying that an accountant or somebody in IT cannot do the job, or somebody that has a management or a PhD cannot do the job, But when it comes down, as I mentioned earlier, to doing a lesson plan, not everybody can do a lesson plan. Not everybody understands what a curriculum is. Not everybody understands what is political science.
Yes.
So I think that although another person can do the job, but I think that I would be more effective with respect to the competitors that are really going up against me. And Devon, I want to say, the caller called in and made a very important point, and I am available whether I win or I lose to come on your program and explain anything that you believe that I might have the capacity to deal with. Because I have quite a broad range of knowledge in many fields.
And we want to thank you for that, Mr.
Yeah, so anytime after the election, if it's anything at all.
Let me ask you this final question before we Mr. Blackman?
Yes, sir, I'm right here.
All right, and this question here, because we want to wrap up because we have another. Yeah, and you loud and clear. I am hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, go ahead with your question.
All right, so you have won the election. Let's put it in that futuristic tense. So you have won the election. What would have been your first mantra in carrying the PNM, the party, and probably the executive? What would be your first office?
I believe that I need to hit the ground running. I would be part of the executive, and the political leader will call that meeting. But as far as my committee is concerned, I would like to have a meeting with my committee within a week or two after the election. No, we have convention, right? So let's say after the convention, and we have a week or so, I have a meeting with my with the members of the executive, and we go down to brass tack operations. I think it would be wise to call a meeting with the members of the committee and work out a work program, which is a plan, a short-term plan that we would be embarking on for the rest of the year, and also make arrangements to have a long-term, a 5-year strategic plan that will be in keeping with the party's strategic goals and objectives. So the first thing is that we need to have plans, a short-term plan, maybe a 1-year plan, a work program that we know exactly where we're going and what we're doing, who are the persons within the committee who would be assigned to different things, and then we will get maybe to have a retreat to have a strategic plan for the committee.
All right, we have a caller coming in. Good evening, caller.
Good night to you. Good evening.
Good evening.
And good evening to your host.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if your host is willing to take a question, not as upcoming, but as a potential candidate for the PN education officer, but as a role in local government as a vice chairman of the corporation.
Well,
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with that.
In the internal election.
All right,
but remember,
he doesn't have a problem with it. Go ahead, caller. He doesn't have a problem with it.
Okay. No, he's a vice chairman of the corporation. And the last government, which he's a part of because he's functioning as a vice chairman, they had come to the public and they had a series of consultation pertaining to local government reform.
Right.
What I want to ask, I'm not a member of this party, but I think what has happened to their party is that the local government reform consultation was not very effective. It was implemented, and they let it drop on the wayside. The minister that was in charge of the local government, and that is government, dropped the ball. They came out and they talked about all these new ideas, all these new things they want to implement, and after the local government election, you heard nothing further on the local government reform. Is by the education officer. What difference will he do once elected in terms of educating the public about local government reform? Thank you, Governor.
All right, thanks a lot. So, you heard the question.
I wish I could have had the conversation with the individual, because local government reform has been in place long before Faris Alwari, and I participated in some consultation with Mrs. Manning, who was then the minister. And I think that local government has the entire reform, the whole theoretical part of it has gone to the front. There isn't much more for consultation. I agree with the caller. I am agreeing with the caller. And hear me clearly, I am agreeing with the caller that the PNM went and they won local government, the few corporations that were won, it was true local government reform. And I must say that not, and I want to say it clearly, there has not been one, I'm sorry that the lady, there has not been one iota of reform done since the last local government election. I guess what my party has done, and what my party has done is they have left reform now for the UNC to do. But according
well, okay, well, Mr.
According to the question that the caller made, and I'm sorry that we could not have had a further discourse, but local government
Well, we'll
reform,
bring you back on it.
local government reform is actually needed.
Well, we will bring you back on it because we do have another interview, Mr. Blackman, and let's find out from our callers. I mean, from our people online. Let's see, because this is the Ring of Fire. We have something called the Ring of Fire, Mr. Blackman, and some are in agreement. Some, well, they didn't favor. And I just try to be real with people. So I'm just giving you the views. Because you can go back and you can watch it and you can actually see what they were saying and all the different things. Some said Bois. So mixed reaction. So most likely we may have to bring it back, Mr. Blackman.
It would be my pleasure
them because they kind of in between
back on the Ring of Fire. And as I told you, I volunteering to be on the program at any time. And thank you very much for the opportunity to be on your program tonight and the experience with your listeners and callers and viewers. I want to thank them so much for all their kind comments. Those that may not have been so kind, but I love you all. And I am requesting your vote on June 22nd.
All right. So thanks a lot, Mr. Blackman, and we will see you in the future.
All right. How do I listen on to the other person?
Well, you will see them on the YouTube channel. So you have to go to the YouTube channel and or the Facebook, because we are broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube and on Bounce Up, and you will be able. All right.
And thank you again.
And you will see it there.
Thank you again, Fearless Warrior.
No problem. Thanks a lot, Mr. Blackman, for coming in. And we will. So I think right. So right. And all right. So we take a break. And we take what is that? What is that? Right. So we take a break, and we will be right back with our next guest, who is in studio and ready and waiting to jump into the fire.
Dauntless defenders of good governance.
Let's go.
Join host Fearless Warrior and the Dauntless crew every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Tune in this week as we continue our coverage of the PNM internals and interview candidates vying for a seat in the elections. Join us as candidates enter the Dauntless GROF, the Gayelle Ring of Fire, and face the Bounce Up audience crew. Watch as they run the Dauntless Gauntlet to be judged. Will they get Bois, Busshead, or get a Big-up Yuh Whole self? Tonight's warriors are special guests, Ms. Alicia Legere, candidate for welfare officer, and Mr. Clayton Blackman, candidate for education officer. Join us at 8 p.m. and come armed with the burning questions you want the candidates to answer. Watch the show live on our Bounce Up Central platform and social media channels, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Keep the conversation going before, during, and even after the show. Chat in real time.
Alicia Legere's political journey is deeply rooted in grassroots service, commitment to people-centered development, and an unwavering passion for the people's national movement. Born and raised in Couva North, Alicia began her political activism as a young member of the Couva North Youth League, where she quickly stood out for her dedication, leadership potential, and genuine love for public service. Her political aspirations took flight in 2010 when she boldly offered herself as a candidate in the local government election, representing the then area of Edinburgh-Carlson Field. Since then, Alicia has worn many hats within the Couva North constituency executive, having served as youth officer, welfare officer, women's league chairman, and currently the constituency secretary. Her commitment extends beyond the constituency, as she serves as a proud member of the PNM General Council, where she continues to advocate for the needs of grassroots members, with a focus on welfare, inclusion, and organizational strengthening. Alicia's heart for people is also reflected in her community work. She presently serves as a social welfare board member at the Victoria Local Board, helping to support vulnerable citizens and ensure equitable access to social services. Her extensive experience in election campaigns highlights her organizational strength and strategic thinking. She has served as campaign manager for the St. Mary's Carlson Field candidate in the 2023 local government election, election agent during both the 2016 local government and the 2020 general elections. Through these roles, Alicia has proven herself to be a reliable, grounded, and forward-thinking member of the PNM family. As a grassroots foundation member of the party, Alicia understands the heartbeat of the people. Her leadership style is shaped by compassion, discipline, and an unshakable belief in the party's founding principles. Now, Alicia Legere offers herself once again, this time as welfare officer, to serve with purpose, humility, and a renewed vision to uplift the members of the People's National Movement. Vote Alicia Legere for welfare officer. People's National Movement. Service, compassion, commitment. This time as welfare officer, to serve with purpose, humility, and a renewed vision to uplift the members of the People's National Movement. Vote Alicia Legere for welfare officer. People's National Movement. Service.
All right. So I'm waiting on the queue. Ms. Legere. Let me just add you here. Right. So nice. Nice. Good. Director, can you make us bigger on the screen, please? I'm struggling here. So you have to help me out here tonight, Director. Can you make us bigger on the screen? I don't want to see the fire of the gods in the back. Right, nice. Director is apparently sleeping on the Walkman. You may have to cut back on the salary. But good evening, Miss Alicia Legere. I think I get right there, Legere?
Yes, yes, it is. Good evening, sir.
All right, so Miss Alicia, what is the position you are offering yourself up for? I know you're frightened, but let me make you a little more comfortable.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm offering myself for welfare officer of the
Go ahead. We're not hearing it too clear, Miss Legere.
Sorry. Right. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you a little better now.
Yeah. I'm offering myself a welfare officer of the party.
Mm-hmm.
You hearing me?
Go ahead. We now hearing you wasn't speaking just now there. Go ahead.
I'm offering myself for welfare officer of the party, of the People's National Movement Party. Close.
Right. I don't know why we get a little All right, hold on. Let me just do something. If we hear, hold on. Right, transition here. Hold on. All right. Let me just make sure that we are hearing you loud and clear. Right. So I am hearing you now. Go ahead now.
Right. My name is Alicia Legere, and I'm offering myself a welfare officer of the People's National Movement Party. Hold a minute, please. Go ahead, sir. Yes, Mr. Devon, are you hearing me? Mr. Devon?
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Right.
Yes,
So
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Right. So you asked me what position I'm offering myself for. I'm offering myself for the welfare officer of the People's National Movement Party, which is the core of the party, taking care of all the members of the party and individuals. I will also say I'm asking, everyone. Go ahead, sir.
Huh?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You were saying something?
I was only asking in advance.
Well, somebody's saying, tell us. Somebody's asking, tell us how your experience as a welfare officer of the constituency prepared you for the role you are vying for, and list some of the accomplishments.
Right. So my experience as a welfare officer would have been in 2020. And that would have been a trying time for the entire country and the world at large, where we had COVID-19. During that period, I think that was my second stint as a welfare officer, actually. During that period, all constituency had to engage in helping. It wasn't like the role that you would normally play as a welfare officer. You engage only when somebody needs help or when a constituents reach out to you. you had to engage people before they reach out to you. At that time, my constituency, Kufa North, what we would have done was we engaged in a hamper distribution, a wide hamper distribution. We started off from the beginning of our constituency from St. Thomas Village all the way to Cali Bay area. And there we would have provided lots of hampers, lots of assistance to many families. At that time, people who were normally not needy family became needy families. And I believe at that experience I had there would have driven me into wanting to assist, assist wider in communities. At that time, I joined the volunteer factory where we went out into different communities, different constituency, and we worked in different avenues, like assisting with repairing homes, roof, even food, clothing. We did a lot of work under the volunteer. So I think that my engagement with both being a welfare officer and the volunteer factory would have prepared me for the role that I am trying to endeavor in at this moment.
So I'm looking for some of the questions that people might answer, but let me answer this question. Does welfare, being as a welfare officer, is the role and function only about hamper distribution?
No, it's definitely
and these sort of things. Okay.
No, it's definitely.
Can you go a little more in depth into what is the role and function? What is the role and function of the welfare officer in the party perspective first?
Definitely. The role and function is not about only hamper distribution or school bag distribution. I would actually go to my handbook. It's not much we have there. But what we have is the needs of the persons and people in the entire constituency. You will have somebody who the need for, you will give a school bag for one family, but a family have 5. So that you definitely need to know what are you giving, who are you giving. You need to have communication with your welfare officer in the areas. You cannot just assume that the need of that family might just be that. So it have things like assisting with medical, assisting with homes. We have to reach out to different agencies to get this assistance. It have self-help grants, it have repairing of homes, many different things that the welfare would be in charge of.
Oh, okay. And what do you mean by taking care of the membership? What do you mean exactly?
When I say the membership, I mean the general membership of the PNM, the 41 constituency, including Tobago, the Youth League, the Women's League, the entire membership. Now, we will have PNM members who are not part of a group. So we also have to reach out to those members as well, meaning that they are not actively part of the system.
Oh, okay. But why haven't you gone up on a slate? Why go independent? Why?
A slate was not offered to me. So I believed when we all went, before we had a slate, we had independent candidates, 51 independent candidates, and now we have slates. However, I wasn't offered to be on a slate. So I'm here as independent. I think independent is also part of this election. So being independent is not a bad thing.
Well, yeah. Question here is being asked. So over the 5 years working closely with other members, of the constituency. Tell us what are some of the challenges and solutions we that we can implement to gain that in consistency. So they basically asking here, over the 5 years, working closely with the members of constituencies, tell us what are some of the tell us what the challenges and solutions that could be implemented to gain consistency.
Right. Some of the challenges are people don't know who to go to. They're not aware who is the welfare officer in the area. They're not aware who is the welfare officer at the highest league. What we need to do is engage the welfare officers so that therefore, with training, they could work in their community to enhance change, to bring information to the community they are in, whether it be the Hoover North constituency or the Laventille constituency or Moruga constituency. We need welfare officers to engage the people. So therefore that information could come to the head of the welfare department. So we would know exactly what we have to read, what type of resources we need to implement. Those are some of the thinking that I have. The 5 years experience I had people calling me and they would reach out to us via our Facebook, social media, and they would ask for different things, employment, they would ask for assistance with getting their child in school. They'll also ask for several different type of assistance they would ask. Most time what we do is engage according to the school, the area, the catchment area that you are in, help you get the forms that you could fill out or even assist you with filling out the forms to get into one of the required school in your catchment area. Those are some of the things that we would do. Some of the things we also do too is give like counseling. You know, sometimes somebody just needs somebody to talk to, you know. They just need somebody who would listen to them and provide some kind of relief in terms of, you know, I'm here for you. Not everything requires financial contribution. Those are some of the things. Can you repeat your question again?
No, and I'll answer the question.
Okay.
Many would believe, many persons would think that as a welfare officer, the party is only about giving handouts and all these different things. But does the welfare committee do fundraising events to raise funds for the party?
Definitely, the welfare committee will have to do fundraising events to raise funds for the amount of different activities they have to do for the entire period, which is the year. It will start off, they have the back to school drive, they have the hamper distribution, they also have things like normally have a Christmas dinner with the elderly, for the elderly. So it's different activities they have to do. I don't think you could just say it's only a one-time thing for the year you do. People need help all the time. So fundraising will be a big thing on our agenda as a new welfare chair. And
so we have a question here coming in.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I also believe that the entire executive will also engage in fundraising activities as well, because we need to make sure that our core members are taken care of, especially in a time like now. The entire executive of the all different constituency, you know, I will promote that we all do fundraising in our own community, because I know normally we give a certain amount of bags, a certain amount of stationaries, and some constituencies so dynamic that they will do more, they will go beyond the call of duty. So we want to create and foster things like that, you know, and show people how to do it, keep them going, keep them interested in, you know, assisting and helping people, because it's really from the heart. You help really from the heart. And
but does the welfare But does the welfare committee educate people, well, when they're helping them, but educate them to also become young business entrepreneurs? Does the welfare committee do these type of work?
I believe they should do that type of work. I haven't any committee that I served on, we didn't do that. But however, that is something that I would like to implement. So therefore you can be self-sufficient. I could be the conduit of change for some of the people who don't have that knowledge. You know, there are so many different courses that is offered. YTEP, even in ministries of agriculture, they have a lot of courses. Planting, grow your own food stuff. These are things that we would definitely like to keep going. I think we had that for COVID period. We had grow your own food stuff, and you know the minister at the time would have been giving out a lot of seeds, you know, seedlings for people to plant. And meanwhile, when you see people put it up on their social media, you were seeing a lot of homegrown meals, you know. And I believe at that period of time, children was eating local, you know. So we want to maintain that local market. If that answers your question.
Question. Yeah, question again. Do you think partnering with other committees like the Education Committee, the SMO, the PRO would help you in your work to get it done better?
Definitely. The Education Committee is very essential for welfare because they would actually give us so much information in terms of what they're seeing when they enter into communities. You know, the lack of after school care, lack of extra lessons. The welfare will need information like that to execute the different duties that, you know, we have to do. So and also PRO, public
And
relations.
another question is,
Go ahead.
oh, okay. Another question is, once elected as once elected as welfare officer, what immediate steps would you take to ensure that the welfare of the system of the PNM becomes responsive, transparent, and accessible to members in all constituencies?
Well, I will combine strategic planning with empathy and action. My experience within the party giving me a strong grassroots connection, allowing me to identify genuine needs quickly. I definitely would have want to implement things fast, just hit the ground running. So therefore, we could know because a lot of people out there isn't reached. A lot of people out there needs assistance, and a lot of people don't have telephone. So we can't do this mobile. We can't do this only mobile. We definitely need to get out on the ground. We need to engage the welfare officers and them in the different constituency. Some of them may not be 100% motivated to work because, you know, they're not sure if it is that our word is solid. But I want to ensure welfare officer across the nation that once I am elected welfare officer, I will work and I will work hard to ensure that everybody who needs help gets help in society. I know I definitely will have to get some NGOs on board. That is something that my team will have to look into, getting NGOs on board that we could at least reach the people and give them tangible help, tangible assistance. In terms of transparency,
do you believe that? Oh, go ahead.
We will
No,
have
go ahead. In terms of transparency, go ahead.
Right, we will have consistent reporting. We'll have to have
Okay.
monthly meetings. So therefore, all the welfare officer, and according to Mr. Blackman's interview, which is correct, we'll definitely have to reach out. We all will have to come to Balize House all the time. We could reach them where they at. You know, we could group the meeting in different areas: north, east, west, central, San Fernando, stuff like that. We group them so therefore we could reach the welfare officers, and because to come to a meeting for 5 o'clock sometime from Mayaro or Point 14 might be kind of hard, you know, especially for a working class citizen. So therefore, we would need to, we have to put innovative ways to meet them. We have to have online meetings at some time too as well, because we also have welfare officer in Tobago.
Question here again. And this is from the members who of the public asking on the chat room and stuff, as well as those who send it on WhatsApp also. Huh?
Yes, I'm fine.
All right. So here's the next question that they're asking here. So the role will be managerial, policy driven, not necessary on the ground again. What might be some policies, ideas on the national level? So let me read it over again so you can clearly understand what they're saying.
Let me write it.
They want to find out basically what might be some policy ideas on the national level.
Some policy ideas on the national level. We need to have support system.
Yes, because
definitely support system,
right.
especially in society. We need to have a clear channel how you get assistance from the government institutions that deals with whatever matter you have. Those are some of the policies. We need to have a network going where somebody who comes with something, we have it recorded, and then we have a follow-up system how we are getting and how we getting help, when they receive the help, and what is the outcome of this. So therefore, if we have to engage more, if we have to do more, we'll be able to do that. But if we don't have the information stored properly, then definitely we wouldn't know what's going on. So those are some policies that I would like to implement.
And we have a question here. Well, they are asking here, but does the officer plays a role in assisting people in accessing government grants?
Yes, the officer will play a role in assisting accessing grants. Definitely. Grants like disability grants.
And
disability grants.
Okay.
Self-help grants.
And So
all the grants
concern Trini, there's a this is a message from the this is I don't know they asking a question but they ain't put question but all right.
Go ahead.
So I know the director going through it and trying to figure out which one is questions in the chat room to make it easier for me now. Because I don't be watching the chat room and paying attention at the same time. But the school drive and dinners with the elderly is being done with Maxine Richards now. Do you believe she has shortcomings? What are those shortcomings? So basically they're asking you about the current welfare officer, and they're saying back to school drive and dinners with the elderly is being done with Maxine Richards now. Do you believe she has shortcomings? What are some of the shortcomings?
Well, definitely tonight you're asking a question about me. I can't answer any question about Miss Richards. You will have to ask her that. I can't say that she's a shortcoming. I don't really know her in that capacity to say that there are shortcomings. So I wouldn't want to answer something that definitely to tarnish somebody else's character. I wouldn't do that. I'm so sorry.
Okay. No. You're right. No, you're right. You know, some people is always ask those kind of questions to see what, you know, if there was any pull and tugging. But So, question here. Do you feel that the party should be more proactive in engaging people regarding their well-being beyond economic and nutritional aspect, but mentorship, such as a big brother, big sister type of program?
Definitely. I would have seen that there's a need for that, a big brother type of thing, because it have new members in the party, for example, and they come in and they don't know what to do. So sometimes you lose good people, people who have good, who can make good contributions. So we as PNM members definitely have to act as a big brother and a big sister to people who are willing to give themselves up for office. You know, in my walk here for office, I have a lot of people who are, you know, rooting for me. You know, yes, there are two candidates. That person will also have to be rooting for them, but I am overwhelmed by the amount of support that I am getting. So having a big brother and a big sister system to help people move from one stage to the next, and even not only in terms of moving upwards in the PNM, but also in terms of getting help. Sometimes you really don't know who to go to. I'm from a constituency that is dominated, it's definitely a UNC constituency. And we sometimes, if you don't have a coordinator who understands the system, there's trouble in getting any aid at all. You know, from time to time, getting aid will be quite difficult. You know, so I don't want to say that, you know, I'm being the welfare officer, oh, all your problems is solved. No, it's a work in progress. And if I don't have the assistance with the rest of welfare officer, it will be difficult. So even the people with the know-how, the knowledge, I am expecting that you wouldn't want me as a PNM member to come into an organization to be a failure. You know, I don't see that as a profitable organization. You know, I think that anybody here that wins this internal election as welfare officer should be given the opportunity to have somebody, a big or a big sister, to work with and help them move forward. And even not being successful or being successful, I am willing to give myself a service, because that is something I have been doing for years. And I'm not afraid of giving service.
I ain't gonna lie, you're really coming over the confidence now. And but let me just apologize for something that I didn't realize that was happening. Huh?
I'm trying to hear with my eyes. What did you say? Pardon me?
No, I said that I didn't know that this was happening, and I want to apologize for this. KW John Lett was saying that we're not allowing it to answer your question fully in response, but apparently there was a little delay in the
Yeah, it's a delay on
we
my
had a
side.
little delay issues in the in audio. Yeah, so we was getting a little delay audio. So I thought you had finished. That why sometimes I will interject, but I do apologize on behalf of us.
Accepted.
So, question now. Say that again. Miss Alicia?
Pardon me? No, I didn't say anything. Sorry.
No, you were saying something before oh, okay. So question now. What role do you see information technology playing in your work, and do you have any plans to utilize technology? Give an example or give examples.
Yes, I believe information technology is very important right now in the time we live in terms of everything should be going digital by now, because young people definitely not even turning on the television. Everything is on their phone, their laptop, their tablets. So digitizing some of the needs that people have, some of the requests people have, will definitely work. There should be a channel where your request comes in we assess it at our meeting, and then after deliberating, we give some kind of solution. We give you send you to a channel where you could get assistance. If it's assistance that we could do ourselves, we do that. But we definitely have to have a channel of online process where we can move a request from one stage to the next. Definitely, I believe that is how it is, or it should be in terms of digital.
Why do you think you are a better candidate for the position of welfare officer?
I believe that I'm a good candidate, an excellent candidate for the position because of my years of experience of assisting, helping. I would have started off very young, serving. Once you join the People's National Party, you're joined to give service. And I joined in the Youth League, and that was service. Moving on from the Youth League to the youth officer is also service, engaging the youth in so many different activities. I believe that start that I had in the People's National Movement, it only geared me towards success. And especially doing it in a constituency that is being, not very strong in PNM. We have been going out there and trying to gain members, new members for quite a while now, to strengthen our base. So I believe I definitely am a good candidate, a strong candidate for this position, and a willing candidate to learn and listen. I hope that question.
Here's a question that is being asked. Here's a question that is being asked. So the welfare officer role is the closest to the community/voter. How can your role be effective at changing the narrative to a positive one that the PNM is here to help so that we can gain Couva North?
That's so nice. The welfare officer role in terms of gaining inroads into Couva North will definitely have to work with more than one person, the field officer, the PRO, and meeting the needs. Couva North definitely is a community of people who really willing to convert into PNM. They are. Most of the members that I meet there, they are willing to convert. But what we need to do is actually keep them engaged. Keeping them engaged will help them, stay the course. Stay the course, but it definitely have to come from upper management. It cannot just be the constituency alone. We have to come. It's a holistic approach that we need to do to make sure that we engage community like Couva North to keep them engaged, assist them, regular meetings, giving proper information, stuff like that. Because we do in our constituency, we have meeting like if it's a winning constituency, we always have monthly meeting. We don't miss that, and our attendance is very high. And every year, I'm sure you see that we do produce candidates. There's not a year that we don't have a candidate. Sometimes we have more than one candidates for election, local and general. So our community is engaged.
You're right.
Alive. So definitely, I was a candidate myself, as I said, right? So we are much alive. We just definitely need to win one time at least.
Yeah, if it's one thing I love, I love your confidence. I really like how you ain't missing the question. That's all You're fumbling on it. You're hitting it straightforward. And let me just tell people I did not send any questions to Miss Alicia. I didn't send any questions to Miss Alicia. I told her I'm not sending no question because I don't want nobody to feel like, you're And let me tell you something. You really have you really impressed me by it's like I don't know, like you pre had knowledge that look, you're gonna ask a question. All right, I don't know what you're gonna ask. Tell it going on you.
I didn't have the knowledge. Literally, I probably have a straight face here, but inside I am quaking. I am. Definitely. I'm just wondering what to come with next. You know, I hope I have an answer for it. But I could only approach my question based on how I, as an individual, feel, what my walk with the PNM and the people in particular. You know, I could only answer the question based on that. I cannot make up a question, make up an answer to a question that I don't have in my head.
Well, these are questions that come from the general public, and so here's a question that one person is asking. This Mix Johnson. Why did you decide to contest the post of welfare officer as opposed to youth officer, given that the party's focus on youth?
Oh my goodness. Thanks for that question. So I probably appear to look like a youth, but I'm not a youth, right? So why not myself a welfare officer? As a mother of three, I think that I know how to be a doctor, a nurse, even a banker. So being a welfare officer would be an addition to my traits. You know, so a youth officer, I've been a youth officer, that would have been, my gosh, in the early 2000s, and I've worked with youth. I have a 21-year-old daughter. I would encourage her to be a youth officer. I have an 18-year-old daughter. I will encourage her as well. But that passed to me. You know, I would support the youth officer from being the welfare officer. I didn't want to give away my age. I'm just saying that time passed. Programs that we had, I wanted to go in all of the programs. Every time I saw a program, I wanted to go in one of those programs from the Ministry of Youth Development, but I was over the age. So I guess, you know, you have to acknowledge that when you're over the age, you're over the age. It is what it is.
Well, you're right to that. You're right to that. With some of these programs that have been available, when you reach the age, you pass the age, you can't go into it. Although I find this wrong, but what you will do? You can't do anything about that. The lines are open if you want to call and ask Miss Alicia questions. You can ask all the questions that you want to ask now. And somebody is saying, don't worry, Alicia. Time longer than twine, you might get that wish. So people are giving the encouragement. You know, they like your spirit. People, you know, Cheryl and James are saying that. So people are giving, you know, because this is the boy. Now there are some people who may find that because it's like sometimes, you know, you're going to a position that is not all that what we call exciting. You know, like the PRO will say, hit him, bam, bam, bam. You know, there's some rules that it just it there, but people don't understand the real importance of the role. And really and truly, a welfare officer is very important because at the end of the day, people need help. People also need to have these mentorship programs like suicidal counseling, you know, because people are going through a lot of pressure, and that's why the welfare department is so needed in most of these constituencies as well as the national executive. But my question to you, will you implement counseling, especially to those persons who are depressed within the party?
Definitely. I believe in counseling. I believe in listening to people. We get professional people to help us, of course. And PNM have a wealth of knowledge. We have people with different professions. And once we put that team together, we can help the persons who know it. We have youths who need help. Right now, people depressed, no jobs, losing their jobs, so many different things. Some people losing their home, they don't know where the next meal coming from. We need to have groups set out there to talk to these people who need that assistance. I remember my first time going into as a board member in social welfare. My first person who I would have met, I cried. I cried for the situation, because it resonated here. So sometimes you think that you're strong, you think that it have nothing that could sway you, nothing could shake you. But when that situation hits you, it's close to your heart. You have to find a way, how you're dealing with that, how you're dealing with situation. I know this welfare committee is a committee that is very much so in demand. People need help. People will come to us every day. I don't think there'll be a night of rest. I don't think there will be a minute for rest for this committee. This committee will be working 24/7. There's no rest time. There's no freelancing. It's only work. That's all I'm seeing across the entire nation, both Trinidad and Tobago. It's only work we can do. It's only work we have to do in order to get this off the ground.
Question here: how would you ensure that the welfare system under your leadership does not just respond to crisis, but also empowers members and builds long-term support structures across the constituencies?
That is nice. To ensure that, you definitely have to go out there and visit the constituencies in order for you to know what are the needs and how you to deal with each needs, because you cannot treat Tom needs like Dorothy needs. You definitely have to have an individual approach to each person's. And in order for us to know, we have to have checks and balances. We have to make sure that we know what is going on. When this case comes before us, we have to treat it with care, empathy, and we have to follow through. Following through is the key results that we need here in order for people to get service. It's not all about just hampers and, it's so many different things. But if we don't have a good follow-through system, it will die right there. It's like giving good customer service. That is what I will base this on. Good customer service.
But let me ask you this question, because I see Mick Johnson is asking it, and she's saying that, well, I think it's a she. I think it's let me just say Johnson, because I don't want to say she and it might be a he. But they are saying that they think that proactivity of the welfare officer should be very much so under more scrutiny now as opposed to previously as we are in opposition. Are you up to the challenge to steer that ship?
Could you repeat?
All right, let me repeat it again.
Right,
I think this is what Johnson is saying, and I think the proactivity of the welfare officer should be very much so under more scrutiny now as opposed to previously as we are in the opposition. Are you up to the challenge to steer that ship? So people are basically calling for more accountability. Are you up to the challenge to steer that ship?
Yes, I'm definitely up to the challenge to steer that ship. I know that we'll be under a lot of scrutinies, being that people want to know, the public will want to know where you getting the assistance to help people in need, the vulnerable in society. There isn't a challenge in my life that I have shunned from, and I don't believe that I cannot do it. Once given the proper resources, I think that we could assist people. I can't say on a need basis because everybody is in need. A lot of people is going to come with different problems, different situation, but we definitely have to prioritize some of them. We definitely have to do that. There are people. It's just like when you go to the health system. You know, you're coming with an injury, but somebody coming with something a little more devastating than your injury doesn't mean that yours isn't important. But we have to prioritize what we do and how we do it, so therefore that the general public would not go and say that, you know, I came to the welfare office and I didn't get that service. The service is there, and we therefore need to be able to also call and find out, you know, okay, this person from my constituency has a situation, you know, no relief was sent yesterday, you know, we can say relief is actually on the way. Relief is on the way, but we could only do that when we keep proper checks and balances. So therefore, the general public wouldn't feel, you know, that they don't know what's going on. We definitely have to put everything out there so everybody will know exactly what is going on. Not giving your situation, like, you know, your personal situation out there. I'm talking about the welfare committee job, what we are doing. We need to put that out there so people could follow up on certain things. There might be things that are happening in the area that we know we could fix. We have to put it out, just like the volunteer factory would have gone out there, you know, into areas, vulnerable areas, and help, you know. So I definitely want to be given the opportunity to see how I could present myself as a welfare officer and actually help in society and in the PNM as well.
Question: what is the biggest challenge being an active member of the PNM, and how did you overcome it and maintain the passion that you are displaying?
I had a lot of big challenge. One of my biggest challenge would have been running for the secretary of our constituency. We have a dynamic secretary for years. She had 40 years service, and you know, it was very difficult to make that transition into I want to be the secretary. However, after in the role of the secretary of the constituency, you know, I'm seeing things from a different view. I'm seeing, you know, what we can do.
So
I'm here.
Let me just make sure here.
I'm seeing where we could do things different.
I overcome that.
Sorry.
You're
hearing me?
Mm-hmm.
I overcome that role by functioning, staying the course, making sure I attend all my meetings and give all the information that is required, follow up on information from Balice House. You know, that was one of my challenges. The next challenges that I probably would have is election. When I went up for a candidate, I went up in an area that was predominantly wasn't about to vote for, you know, a young person who they don't know. However, I presented myself in 2010, and I was able to get votes that I didn't expect. You know, I saw every single household, and people were receptive. So that was one of my major point of staying because of being a PNM is when I entered into politics. And I believe giving me the opportunity to be the welfare officer would not be a mistake. You know, my background itself speaks for itself. I'm a hard worker. I'm willing to work. I'm willing to listen. You know, I'm willing to talk to anybody who is listening as well, or even if you're not listening, that's still speaking. You know, and I am here to ask everybody for their vote on June the 22nd. From between the hours of 8 to, don't miss those hours. We don't have a second chance.
So question, how do you propose to deal with other executive members who will want to tell you what and how to do your work?
Stay there, Hannah meeting. Right. No, sorry about that. How I propose to deal with other executive members, we have a leader. Our leader is Ms. Penelope Beckles. She will give us directive, and I'm a junior person in the party. I am willing to listen to everybody, but sometimes you have to put your foot down as the officer in charge and make sure that you execute your duty to the best of your ability. So yes, I'm there for counseling. I'm there for somebody to give me advice, but I also have to do my work as a welfare officer. I cannot go in there and expect somebody to, say that she can't do anything. And most times that might be expected from people who was there before. They will want to do things a particular way, but you have to understand that sometimes we need to bring in our own innovative way of doing things to reach the public. But I have a leader, and my leader is Ms. Penelope, and she will guide me. I don't think she will guide me wrong. And there's a number of executive members who will guide me as well.
Okay, and final question. How would you, no, I have one more question basically, but how would you balance helping people, not just doing things for them, but also helping them to be self-sufficient to help themselves? Let me read it again. Not just doing things for them, but also helping them to be self-sufficient to help themselves.
That is something that I definitely believe is a very good question. When you want to have a good fisherman, you can't give him the fish, right? You got to teach him to fish. Definitely. So you help somebody once and they will get once, twice, or whatever. We definitely have to find way of training that person or to help them get out of the situation that they are currently in order for them to move forward. Because I cannot say that every time I can give you a hamper, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So you definitely either give you a job. We find a job for you, or find some course that you could get yourself employable, make yourself employable, so you could be able to help yourself, because there's nobody who wants to depend on somebody for the rest of their life. And I definitely find that might be a kind of hard thing for somebody to depend on someone. No, especially an adult. An adult want to be independent. So we have to find we have created independence of the people that we operated with. I don't know if that will answer your question.
Well, yeah, you have it on the ball. And last but not least, this question here is being asked: self before self. No, sorry. Let me read it again. Service before self is my mantra. What does these words mean to you? And how would you apply it across the 41 constituencies?
Definitely interesting as well. Service before self means that I definitely can put myself first. The service is more important than me or the position that I hold. Giving service to somebody is very edifying. You understand? I will be rewarded when somebody is happy and out of the situation that they were in currently when they meet me the first time. So I believe going out there, finding out what's the reason they're in a position that they're in, and helping them, or even engaging the welfare officer, helping them to help the people. So therefore, sometimes a welfare officer don't know how to move forward. What is the channel to move forward? you definitely have to assist. I would have assisted members of my constituency, members of different constituency. The amount of calls that we receive, it doesn't all be from Kufa North to Kufa South or whatever. It's a wide audience that reach out to our pages, and we definitely either find out who are the people we need to communicate with and follow up on it. We do a lot of follow through. I remember during the COVID experience, I had a family calling me from the States, and they were calling on behalf of their family in an area that needed assistance. Immediately, I reached out to the person there, and I followed through. I followed through. I didn't just stop and say, okay, well, I talk to them and I leave it to that constituency. That is not the way to do work. That is not the way to get people assisted, to get people help. I definitely had to put myself there. I went, I drive to the constituency. I found out who was the key person. They got the hampers. They got food. They called me back and they thanked me. I felt good as a person. I wasn't a welfare officer. I was a person that at that time, I was given charity by reaching out. I didn't give the hampers myself. I didn't distribute food myself, but just making the link for that family that couldn't get out of the area, that didn't have another call to make. I don't know how they reached out to me, but it was rewarded to know that they got help and I was being thanked. And that was all the way in America. It have so much thing that I do. I mean, right now I can't remember. I don't want to, self-praise is no recommendation. It have a lot of things as a person that I would have done to assist a lot of people. And I'm grateful that I was given the opportunity to do that, to make a difference in their life or the situation at that time. I'm just asking now for me to be given that opportunity to make differences in many people's lives. Because being the welfare officer of the People's National Movement is a wide, vast, it's a lot of work, and I'm thinking I'm ready for that. I can go out there and I can work with an entire team of 41 welfare officers, Tobago, Youth League, Women's League. I could work with even my person who is going up in the slate that I am going. I'm willing to work with everybody. I may not have all the answers in front of me right now, but I'm willing to give me the opportunity. Let me identify some of the problems and some of the solutions,
Well, we may have to. Well, it look, people are saying they well behaved tonight. They didn't bring out the Bois stick.
They
thought they would have been able to put the fire. You answer the question, they gel them down. They just didn't get the opportunity to say, well, okay, no, let me.
Well, I think they put some very good
questions. You have passed the test. I think you have passed the test. Yeah, and you answered all of them exceptionally well. My question is, you have won. You now have your committee in place. How are you going to start? What are the first thing you're going to implement? That's one. And two, how do you plan to start doing fundraising events? And that's the last question for us tonight, and you can give your final words.
Okay. When I got my committee in place, the first thing that we're going to do is a press service. Definitely a press service, because we need to start this with involving God in the midst of things, because the country right now at a time where we need God. We need to bring God back into the PNM. My committee will be a group of dynamic people who are there already, a group of dynamic people who knows exactly what the welfare of the party is and is about. They will also be teaching me. I am there to learn as well. I don't have all the answers. I definitely don't have all the answers, but we will start by putting in place, identifying names, forming a database, making sure that we get all the vulnerables and all the people who probably just need a little push to move from one stage to the next, and each one teach one, and that way we'll have people coming in and helping. I want to encourage people to help. Don't just see somebody there and say that they put themselves in a situation because you don't know what caused the situation. We all have to listen. Sometimes, just a listen there. You're traveling on the bus. You hear something. You might know somebody who could help that person. Reach out to us. Reach out to us for us to reach out to them. Helping people in different stages. I have a lot of constituency who I'm speaking with at the moment. And, the thing is, how are we going to move from this stage to the next? It is work, hard work. Work without sweat is no work at all. So I intend to sweat, definitely. And fundraising, how are we to do fundraising? We have different ways. We definitely have to do some raffles of some BMWs for the type of money we want to make here. Fundraising, we definitely have to get some NGOs on board for us to be able to get stuff, to store stuff, to make sure that we have places to put things, because when you get items, you're not going to get items now and then it's for today. You definitely have to collect things within a period of time to be able to deliver to the nation. I definitely would use every resources I have. I have a wide base overseas. I would use that resources and see how it is we could come up with, find out different innovative ways. I don't have all the answers, but I'm willing to hear from other people who have the answers. I'm willing to incorporate their way into, some of the things that might work for us, because there's no one Alicia Legere who knows everything. Otherwise, I'll have been the prime minister, the president, and so many different ways, So Alicia Legere is here to hear, to listen, and to execute her duties. With the assistance that will be a part of it.
All right. So tell us your number so people can get in contact with you if they want to get in contact with you. And final words.
People to get in contact with me, you could call me on my cell phone, 777-8096. The number again, 777-8096. Opening my phone to see if anybody's calling now. Nobody's calling, which is good. All right, so my final once elected as welfare officer, my first activities will be to host welfare strategy sessions with constituency representatives from across the country to listen to the real needs on the ground, to identify gaps in the current welfare system, to create a national welfare action plan designed by the members for the members. This will be the start of a collaborative, passionate, and coordinated approach to welfare in the People's National Movement. Vote for me, Alicia Legere, June 2026.
Well, I want to thank you, Ms. Legere, and for coming on the Rings of Fire. And a lot of people, even from outside in America and all different places in England, are supporting you, and they are behind you. And I know people will be flying in for the convention, I can tell you that.
Thank you so much.
I hope they will be allowing people to vote on the convention day also, like last time.
No, we don't have any voting on the convention.
So
I apologize. Only June.
Well, but I know people will be.
So you need to book your flight like today and get in here on time. You could come 7 a.m. on the 22nd and you could vote at 8, and you could lie around until the convention and enjoy it. And I know
well, thanks a lot, Ms. Legere, and And we look forward to seeing you on the election, at the convention, and so we will be bringing it to you live right here on Bouncer. So thanks again for coming and being a part of this blessed interview.
Thank you, Devon. Thank you, audience. Thanks for the nice questions, and I hope I answered every question respectively and to the way that persons would have required it. Thank you. Good night.
All right, so let me, Director, help me out a little bit too.
So I can leave this, all right? Bye-bye.
All right, so let me, yes. Yes, you can, all right. Right, so that was it, and we do want to thank all the Mr. Blackman and Mr. Legere for coming and being a part of it. And tomorrow, because we have the election countdown taking place and time is short, there will be simultaneous broadcasting. You will have Pastor Google at 8 o'clock, and you will also have me at 8 o'clock also on a different studio. So there'll be 2 studios running 2 lives as we have more persons, as tomorrow is another person, Mr. David Tate, will be in, and he will be in on tomorrow, and who knows, Friday and Sunday, we have line up going down the road till the 22nd. Miss Maxine will be here, and a number of them will be here coming in. So please, enjoy your night. Tomorrow, we are going to be back here at 8 p.m. for another interview in the Ring of Fire. And also, if you want to give contribution to get back my laptop, because I need to get a laptop. Oh my goodness, I need to get back a laptop. You can get in contact with me, and my number was on the screen, 737-6064. And let's try to get that laptop as soon as possible, because oh my goodness, well, I want to say to the bandit here, but I will leave it. I want to load the Matic and empty the clip, but I will leave it. But see you all tomorrow. Have a blessed night. Director, could you play some music and you can take us out, Director? Mm-hmm.
I go cross any ocean to find it. Won't let no mountain get in the way. Hey. Come cross the water, been through the fire. I know that my heart will show me the way. Everywhere you turn, you see people smiling. We don't see no creed and race. Don't want nobody tell we about leaving. We fight for we thing and this is we play.
Am I still on?
Take me home. Take me home. Take me to a place
Start was a friend, I'm like it like that. Coming on the light like sneaking out the grass. One with your fitness in the right back. One with your fitness in the right back. Let me start was a friend, I'm like it like that. Coming on the light like sneaking out the grass. One with your fitness in the right back.
Well, I don't have time to beef. Lucky for you, my friend. I in a good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes right up to the limits. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes ain't crossing a minute. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My friend and them couldn't tell you about me. Good people, there's good people. We only want love it, we so good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My family couldn't tell you about me. Good people, there's good people. We only want love. Well, every man make their choices. I say we make sacrifices. We block out the noises. We have to forget the voices. One day we gon' make it. We don't have to fake it. I give you my best. I give you the chain off my neck. I give you my love and respect. But now hear the story. Is you vex with me? Like I do you something. Like I do you something. When I hear the shout now, is you vex with me? Like I do the wrong thing. Like I do you something. Oh, it's a good thing. I in a good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes right up to the limits. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes ain't crossing a minute. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My friend and them couldn't tell you about me. Good people, it's good people. We only want love it, we so good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My family couldn't tell you about me. Good people, it's good people. We only want love. Now you bubble and pose like you never do bad. Things where you do, say you never do that. Run for the cream and you never look back. Now money in your pocket, so you never too sad. Boy, if money make you dance, you be dancing forever. To the beat of a drum that never go help you. But now hear the story. Is you vex with me? Like I do you something. Like I do you something. When I hear the shout now, is you vex with me? Like I do the wrong thing. Like I do you something. Oh, it's a good thing. I in a good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes right up to the limits. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes ain't crossing a minute. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah, yeah. I in a good spirit. I drink in a good spirits. The vibes right up to the limits. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good spirit.